Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Check out the channel, and welcome back to another Money Talk Mondays. What's going on, everybody? Shout out to people already in the room already. Shout out to the people that's gonna watch this in the future, and shout out to the people who's coming in while I'm talking. Let me give a shout out to International Racing Champions. What's up, man? Man, Jersey about to go in lockdown, man. I don't even know the turn up gonna be even real anymore. But who knows? I might be in Miami when it goes in lockdown again. But as you guys seen, if you haven't seen the title already, seen the thumbnail, this Money Talk Mondays is gonna be dedicated to the 3-card Monte, the biggest 3-card Monte I've seen probably ever, called the Presidential 2020 race, where not only did Trump win and Biden win and the government win, but we as middle class citizens and below, we lost. When I say we lost, I mean, if you don't understand how a 3-card Monte works, I'm going to try to explain it, and then I'm going to show you a video that may explain it a little bit better. The purpose of a 3-card Monte is to get you so focused on one card that you completely miss everything else that's happening around. And when you think you know it, you pick that card up and you lose. But it's let me let the guy here explain it a little bit better.
Hey, have you seen this game called 3-Card Monte in the Streets? Yeah, it's a scam. It looks something like this. And then I'll perform this with the idea of, as soon as you think you know how the game is played, they change the method. And then I flow into the 2-Card Monte effect, which is a beautiful card trick. I highly recommend it. I've done a couple different tutorials on my channel. You can go check it out. But for now, here's the idea. Long story short, couple times around the first time you're throwing down the 3 of clubs. Watch the money card. Boom. That's where the move happens. You're throwing down the 3 of clubs. So the first couple.
All right, so that was just a little bit of something I wanted to play in the beginning, because I wanted you guys to get a gist, for those that some people might not know what the 3-card Monte is. But basically, between the government, Trump, and Biden, the United States citizens have been getting the 3-card Monte. There's been so much stuff that has happened while everyone is so excited. Oh my God, Biden won, going crazy. Oh my God, Trump won, going crazy. They don't see the moves the government and the people of wealth are making behind the scenes. They're so focused on what's in front of you that they can't see what's going on behind the scenes. And that is the biggest trick of them all. When you think you know what's going on and you really have no idea. Now, yes, you have to understand there's things that we cannot control. But the thing we can control is being aware of what's going on. And what I mean by being aware of what's going on, let's share the screen again. Do you guys know that during the coronavirus pandemic, billionaires have increased their net worth by $500 billion. But guess what? They didn't do it by themselves. The government, or the Fed, pushed money out to the places where billionaires and the high millionaires and the people with 1% and 10% invested all their money. And while they pushed the money out, the fiscal didn't do too much. But you have to understand this. That money that the Fed pushed out is going to be taken from the future middle class people. It's going to be taken from inflation that happens in the future. It's going to be taken from the deflation of the United States dollar that is going to affect the people at the bottom of the ring the most. But everybody's too happy. Oh my God, Biden won. Oh my God, Trump won. But they're doing the 3-card Monte on you. You're watching the middle card. You're watching the presidential race, but they're just moving stuff around while you're watching that one card. And before you know it, that card is not there no more. Here's the other part of it. For those that don't know, what happens in New York trickles around the whole United States. New York is the epicenter of what United States is. So when you look and see that New York State Bar has passed a mandatory COVID vaccination recommendation, and then the day afterwards, we hear that a vaccine is 90% effective. How much of a coincidence is that? Is that not a coincidence? Now, I don't want to be a conspiracist, but is this not coincidental? Like, first you have, Trump saying, "Oh, there's going to be a vaccine by, presidents by the time the voting comes." What makes everybody plays it off and say, "Oh, nothing's to it." Maybe he slipped and said it, but he wasn't supposed to say it, and everybody played it off. Okay, he slipped and said it, whatever. But then right after they passed this, a vaccine that, now mind you, vaccines only have to be 50% to pass the emergency procedures thing. So when something comes up 90%, and then when Pfizer passes the thing that says it's 90%, right after this, and then they say, "Oh, Moderna was working on the same thing right after this." I mean, nothing is that much of a coincidence, man. Nothing is that much of a coincidence. But you know what? Nobody cares to look. You know why? Oh my God, Biden won. Oh my God, Trump won. But once again, it's the three-card money, man. Like, I'm from the hood, so I've seen it done on a smaller scale, of course, but it's the exact same concept. Let me get to the room and see. I got 20 people in the room right now. Let's see what you guys are talking about. But it gets to me, man. It gets to me. Percival, what's up, man? Palm Beach in the building, man. I know it's sunny down there. I'm about to get back down in. I'm going back to Miami in December. In December, I'm going back to Miami. Sunny Loke, what up, man? Greg G, what's good, man? What do you say? It's all a stock game. It's not just the stocks, man. It's everything, man. It's literally everything. And no money for reparations. Listen, man. Listen. I tell people, and I did the thing about how black leaders of today and minority leaders of today are too busy worried about voting and too busy worried about things that they cannot change or cannot influence, that they're just going to be fighting for something that's never going to happen. This is reparations. I don't say never a lot. I don't say never a lot. But if something hasn't happened directly in 400 years, I'm going to say reparations is never going to happen. And all the black leaders in the world that keep fighting for this and keep fighting for equality and for help with the generational gap that you did with that black people have, that stuff is never going to happen. Bro, a pandemic happened where people were dying. A pandemic happened where people were losing their life savings. A pandemic happened where people were losing their job. They couldn't provide for their family. And you want to know what they did as far as what the government felt was the best option? Let's lock everyone down so that billionaires can increase their net increase their net worth by $500 billion during the pandemic. But y'all still worried about, oh my God, Trump won the presidency. Oh my God, Biden won the presidency. Let's all go out and celebrate. But when Biden goes into office, you still broke. I mean, you still are dependent on the government for your family. You're still watching the same thing that happened for the last 400 years happen over and over, and you're reacting the same way. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just talking in general. And it's sad, man. It's sad that is where we are at as a people, man. It's so sad, man. And it's like I said, I don't think my video. I like I said, when I do videos like this, I don't post them out to everybody. I don't share them out. Whoever comes, whoever sees it, whatever. Because I'm not here to convince anybody that what you're doing or what you believe is wrong. Or I'm not trying to convince all the people celebrating Biden's win that, hey, you know Biden did like lock up a lot of minorities back in the day, right? You know Kamala Harris did lock up a lot of minorities. I'm not here to really even go into that much of a detail. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that is not even the main thing y'all should be watching. You should be watching the stuff that's happening behind scenes. Let me get back to this room real quick. Sunni Loke said, people don't know the Fed isn't the government entity. It's the six richest men that control it, and they just had a meeting in March. And I don't know about the meeting, but I don't know about the 6 men, but I do understand what you're saying here, and I somewhat agree. And at the same token, they still determine what happens to the people's money in the future. They determine how high our taxes are going to be. With this time, where all these billionaires and the top percent got rich, our kids are going to pay for that. Our grandkids are going to pay for that. Shoot, if the inflation comes fast enough, we're going to pay for that, and we didn't benefit off of it. You know, if you give one person $1 million and you give somebody else a crumb, that crumb doesn't help them build. That crumb doesn't even help them survive. So we don't benefit off of that. You know what I mean? Checking the fact unfiltered. What's going on, man? Y'all watch that Palenque video, man. That was dope, bro. Palenque video, man. That was definitely dope, man. Yeah, I watched it. You got a part 2 or something? Because I watched to the end, but it looked like it was a part 2 is what come up. Person who says, why did it happen for the Japanese and the Jews? Let me tell you why it happened for the Japanese and the Jews in my mind, and the Jewish people in my mind. Because the Japanese have an extremely, extremely high concentration of people. All right, the Japanese had people in Japan. There was a lot of Japanese people. They have somebody who's going to fight for them. You know what I mean? And even the Chinese would help the Japanese fight for them, right? But and the Jewish people, they also had people fighting for them. You know what I mean? But as Black United States citizens, we don't have people fighting for us. It's like me personally, I separate Black from African. Not to say that we're not all of the same culture, but the reason why I separate Black as far as Black United States citizen from African is because we are the only people, to my knowledge, that our history as Black Americans started as slaves. Africans didn't just start off as slaves, not to my knowledge. Europeans didn't just start off as slaves, not to my knowledge. Japanese people didn't start off as slaves, not to my knowledge. White Americans didn't start off as slaves, not to my knowledge. But Black Americans, our history starts as slaves. So when people say they're Black, it's cool. I understand the thing that Africans at one point did not understand, which is a national understanding. Like, even though you're from Ghana and I'm from South Africa, we're all Africans. I understand that okay, we're Black Americans. A lot of our history comes from Africa, but at the same token, some comes from Native America. But at the same token, it's a big difference. So that's why I think it won't happen for Black Americans versus and why it happened for Japanese. It's my opinion. It's just opinion. Elite Travels, what's going on, man? The Fed just signed a bill. They putting together $7.5 billion to get The Fed just signed a bill. They put together $7.5 billion to get a $3.5 trillion. I don't understand that one, Sunni. I don't understand that one. Fred Moore, what's going on, man? Just out here, just getting some stuff off the chest, man. Trying to get people to open their eyes. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff that as Black Americans, as Americans in general, United States citizens in general, we can't control. We can't really control who wins the election. We can't really control how they're going to tax us. We can't even control the illogicalness of the stuff they're coming up with this whole pandemic stuff. Think about this. Okay, follow me here, everybody. Follow me here. So, if you're in a crowd inside, you can catch the virus more likely, right? But then, if we go outside and they put us in a tent, and there's still a crowd inside, the virus doesn't circulate as well. Logical? Not really. Okay. Let me go for another one. Curfew, 10 o'clock, all the stores closed. I live in Norton, New Jersey. 8 o'clock, all the stores closed because we don't want people out and catching coronavirus at night. I mean, a curfew? Like, even when Dominican Republic did a curfew? Like, do you really believe that more people come out at night than in the day? No. More people are out and mixing in the day than at night. So what sense does it make to put a curfew at night? Because it's less people. So it's just my belief. I believe it's just a test of power. I think that's another part of the three-card Monte. You know what I mean? That the government is doing right now. They're testing out their powers. First, they tested out their powers of travel. Let's not completely restrict travel, but let's make it seem like travel is restricted so that people don't want to go look. People, if you've been watching my channel, because there's 26 people in the room, but if you've been watching my channel for this whole year, I've been to multiple places around the world. I've been to Houston, I've been to Colombia, I've been to Mexico, been to Miami a couple times. Like, I've been around a lot of places. But if you watch the news, if you watch the government, if you watch the three-card Monte, they'll tell you that you can't go these places. They've been telling people the longest they can't go these places. Oh, you can't fly here. You can't fly here. If you get here, you got to get quarantined. This. Listen, man. I just want people to be aware. I'm not saying you have the power to change anything but what you do. But I just want you to be aware of what's going on behind the scenes. But a lot of people out there still, oh my God, Trump won the presidency. Oh my God, Biden won the presidency. Let's go out and dance. Let's sing. What's that song they sing? Oh, you got fired or something like that. You about to lose your job. All right, but you lost your job already. You know what I mean? It's like it behooves me to believe that we are in 2020 in a place where that many people are so focused on what they see and what they hear that they can't understand what's going on. And I just put this out here just to say that. Like this video might not even be that long, man. Mauricio Davis, what's going on, man? Caribbean blacks are the same. I don't know, man. Jersey. Here's what this one. I'll go back to this, Chris Hill. I don't know. I would think so, but I don't think so because here's the thing. A lot of Caribbean people. I have friends from Trinidad. I have friends from Haiti. I have friends from Jamaica. I have friends from Dominican Republic. I have friends from Cuba. A lot of them, their families didn't have slave. They wasn't deep in slavery in those countries. So when they came to the United States as Caribbean people, they had the mentality of success. They had the mentality that they can work and build and do this stuff that a black person from the United States whose family is maybe from the South or whose family has been in the United States for generations and generations and generations never had the opportunity to learn because our education system is so messed up that we were never taught that we can go build our own business. We were never taught that we could amount to something more than what our community amounts to. But see, I don't feel as though, it's my opinion, I don't feel as though Caribbean people had that same knowledge. I feel as though in where Caribbean people like Trinidad, Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, like when Dominican Republic, they come to the United States and they're able to succeed because they was never restrained through that United States Jim Crow, segregation, slavery. Their families for years and years were never contained about that. They was contained to make their own, but they was never contained like that. And that's why I separate all of that. And I'm just not saying that we're not. I still understand the universal. We're all of one. But they didn't go through that same path, man. Like I think like this because my grandfather kind of thought like this because he had a father who thought a little bit less than like that. Like let's say, for example, when Harriet Tubman escaped the South, right? and she freed some slaves, and those slaves came to the North. In the North, they had less, restrictions on slaves to learn. Those slaves started learning the same way the white people, same way as Hispanic and Native Americans in the North was learning. So now the people in the blacks that were slaves in the South that moved to the North, their education started to come in. Now it might not have been that much still because it still was just the segregation and stuff. But you would think that their education, because they was working closer with the whites in North America, was in the North Hemisphere, was probably a little bit more than the people in the South. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, just quick. Is probably the best example, but I'm going to use it. Charlemagne the God, Joe Budden. Charlemagne the God, Joe Budden. They both have a similar message, right? But Joe Budden has been in the industry already, so he knows how it works, and he's from up north. Charlemagne the God was in a small town in the South, so his education level wouldn't be as high as someone who's already seen how people do it in the smaller areas. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I feel. Let me see. Get some more questions. Brother, most people are like puppets on a string. You have to remember that only a few leaders and the majority of people are followers. I understand what you're saying, and I believe you. I definitely believe it. But I always feel like there's got to be a point where it just smacks you in the face like, oh, shoot. I see what's happening now. And it's just weird that all this stuff can go and happen out in the open on TV. The stuff that happened in the last 4 years can happen on TV. And then people just flip and turn around and say, oh my God, Biden won. Things are going to change. No, they're not. It's advert. And I'm not even saying it's a racist thing. It's just a pop. It's for me, it's a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of everything. But it's just it behooves me so much to think that people just go from one to other and they think it's just so different. They just think there's not really a big difference. Because if we go back to what Biden was doing, he locked mad people up. He created policies that was unfair, drug policies and stuff like that. So, behind, like I said, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a liberal, I don't do politics. I'm a logical person. I think logically. So, yeah, man, I just can't. It's just hard for me to believe this, that after all we literally just been through. Forget the 400 years before this. The stuff we just been through in the last 4 years, and you just switch over to, it's beyond me. We have to make, yes, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. And like I tell people, I say, listen, it's not even like I said, I understand there's some things we can't control as people of poverty or people of color or people of not a wealthy 1%. There's a lot of stuff that we can't change. But the one thing we can do is be aware of what's going on. And then once we're aware, we can start to make changes to make our lives better. But until we're aware as a whole, which I still think it's so bad that we're not aware, a lot of people, nothing's gonna change. It's crazy. Charles Explores, what's up, man? We're celebrating the overt racism and lack of concern for the deficit, the obvious lies and hypocrisy, but see, Charles, check this out. Just my personal opinion, I'd rather have someone who's racist to my face than racist behind my back and friendly to my face. I'd rather somebody be completely prejudiced to me in person than to be smiling in my face, shucking and jiving, and then go behind me and do something different. And I think that's just the difference. That's the only difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. That's the only difference. One is overt, one is subvert. It's a preference. Which one you want? Oh, you don't want it out in open? All right, what we do behind closed doors? We'll make the laws that you can't get around. We'll make the policies on financial things that you can't get around. You know what I mean? If you're from North, you really can't. Your credit might be lower than somebody who lives in West Orange, just because you're born in two different towns. But That's the subvert racism or whatever you want to call it versus the overt. I rather, like me personally, I just rather you be how you gonna be to my face so I know how to act accordingly. Don't Joe Biden me. Don't Joe Biden me. Let me see. Black Americans are hard workers, but are under, yes, constant physiological attack. Yes. Well, and it to me, it's not just whites, man. It's not just whites, and it's not all whites either. I have a lot of white from Tristan. Listen, I know it's not just all whites. What it is, it's status quo. It's those that are willing to go outside of status quo, and those who just want to go with status quo because it is what it is. You gotta tread that border kind of lightly, but a lot of people just go with status quo. They won't be mad at you because you're black, or they won't be mad at you because you're poor, but they're not finna reach their hand out. They're not finna show you another way. For what? In their mind, for what? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. A lawless society isn't good for any of us. That's an extreme. No matter who's in office, work hard, quit spending money on Jordan's and best wife. See, Charles, it's easy for someone to say that. Yes, it's easy for someone to say that. But if you're taught your whole youth because you didn't have a father, or you didn't have a mother, or you was raised by in an orphanage, or if you taught your whole youth that your only worth is what you possess, you can't tell somebody who's an adult that they shouldn't go out and buy Jordans because they was taught their whole youth not to do something. I mean, to live this way, and they was accepted only because they lived this way. So I personally, I can see that side. I can see that side of things. I try to school people on the benefits of it, and I show them how I'm able to do the exact same things they do. But see, I show them through my experiences versus telling them what they shouldn't do. Because if they've learned something all their life, they're not going to change when they become adults. They're not going to change when they become teens. And that's not something that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and you can't retrain somebody who's been trained for 17 years. So I won't just go out and down another black brother or Hispanic brother or even a white brother who goes out and buys Jordans and buys chains and stuff and buys all this stuff, but they ain't got no place to live, or they live with their parents. I'll just say, hey, that's cool and all, but look, I wear Foreman Mills. I buy my sneakers from the same sneakers you got. I buy them from China, direct from the manufacturer, and I'm getting the same girls you getting. I'm driving the whips that you see in the videos. I got houses all over the place, condo in Miami. I show them, because if you're just telling them, you're gonna sound like an adult talking to a kid who never wants to listen and things never change. You know what I mean? You get more. What they say? You get you get more bees with honey or something like that. And it's tough. Let me see. They never had COINTELPRO. I'm not. I don't want you guys to believe that I'm that smart. So maybe you can explain to me. I'm just a common sense person. That's why I think people relate to me, because I'm just the average person using common sense to explain the world. And I don't know COINTELPRO. Curfews keep people out of bars, which is the worst way to spread the virus. Okay, testing powers white conspiracy theory. I usually hear from white people in the South and Midwest. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing I have with that. If the bars are that bad, right? Let me get this right. If the bars are that bad, what work? What is jobs? What are jobs? Because it's way more people at a job than at a bar. It's way more people at Target than at a bar. There's way more people at Walmart than at a bar. So I'm just trying to understand the logic of the because none of this ever makes sense to me when I see the government doing this. Like the bar has a minimum, because there's no at least in New Jersey, the bars ain't like this. That's maybe a club, but the bars you ain't knuckle to knuckle. You might be sitting next to somebody, but you're not knuckle to knuckle. And if you at the bar, you're looking straight. Maybe talking to the one person next to you, talking to the person right of you. But when you in Walmart, when you're shopping, when you're at the shopping store, that was the craziest thing. Like, dude, like the supermarkets are packed. Even during the highest point of the virus, even during when we didn't know what was going on, the supermarkets have always been packed. But they're gonna tell you that the bars are where the stuff come from. They're gonna tell you that, oh, you got to go in the house before 10 because, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, in my head, King Bo, what up, man? Democrats are just bad, if not worse than Republicans. Black Americans, they can sell you a fake dream. Listen, man, King Bo, I know you just came in, man. I was talking about the three-card money, man, because that's what's going on right now. Like, if anybody's just coming in, we're just talking about how the government is pulling the three-card money, and everybody else, like, is they out celebrating? Oh my God, Trump won! Yeah. Oh my God, Biden won! Yeah. But in the background, the government's like, oh, these suckers. You know what? You know what we're gonna do? Boom, we're gonna increase the net worth of the 1% by $1 billion during $1 trillion, $500 billion during the pandemic. You know what else we're gonna do? We're gonna pass a mandatory COVID vaccination recommendation so that, you know, when the vaccine does come, they're gonna have to take it. We're gonna make them take it. Oh, wait a minute, a vaccine is here now. Let's say, oh, the vaccine is 90% effective. This fits right in line with everything. Oh, there's another one coming, 90% effective. This fits right in line with everything. But people are not looking at that three-card monster, man. They just celebrating. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Let me see. People are dancing in the street like winning is a good thing, man. Listen, Percival, it's just no way around it, man. You can't really. It's the same way I spoke to Charles about the sneaker thing, where you can't just a kid who ain't had no parents, a kid who was only accepted based on his clothes or based on his jewelry or based on her looks, her body, and that's why she went and bought a body. A kid that was only accepted because of that will never change. The same ways as these older or educated minorities or poor people or people of poverty or middle class, the same way they never change when they think that voting makes a difference. That we really control something. That there's not something happening behind the scenes that they don't know or they don't see. And it's life, man. But it's, I feel like coming on here and talking about it, man. Bro, Trump had to go. Trump was response to Obama being president. Trump took credit for the economy Obama bill. Trump. Listen, man. Just said it back. None of that matters, bro. It's all a three-card money, and the three-card money is a scam, bro. None of that matters because it's the stuff that happened behind the scenes that people was too busy celebrating. You know what I mean? Like, even here's the thing, and I don't. There's some things I don't agree with Rick Ross said, like his whole stance on Tory Lanez. I didn't agree with that, but then there's some things I do agree with Rick Ross said in the past. And Rick Ross said something. He said on one of his songs. He said, I'm happy Trump became president because we got to destroy it before we elevate. But it didn't work because people just went back to how things were before. People were so comfortable. Comfortability is the worst. Comfortability is the worst thing that can happen. When you get comfortable, you lost. When you get comfortable, they'll take advantage of you. When you get comfortable, you can move nowhere. You cannot progress forward if you're comfortable. No. If you're comfortable, you can't move forward. And that's what happened. People got comfortable with Obama. They got comfortable. They got happy. Trump came. You would think that somebody smacking you in the face would make you really start to look behind the scenes at what's going on, what really matters. But it didn't. People just got smacked in the face for 4 years, got so upset and so emotional about it that they voted the guy out and kept the same exact strategy they had before of getting comfortable. And it just, one day, like this might only have like 1,000 views after a week. One day somebody's gonna see this in the future and be like, yo, this makes sense. Because the last 400 years, ain't nothing changed. The same strategy they've been doing. And the next 400 years, ain't nothing changed. The only thing that you can change is you becoming aware of what's going on and trying to better yourself from that. Where did I stop at? Shut. All right, here. L.I.M. What up, man? Nowadays, Jordans is a solid investment. I make more money buying Jordans than buying stocks. No, if you really know that stuff, to be honest with you, know, man, my homie, my brother does it, and I don't understand it. Like I said, everybody knows I don't invest in anything I don't understand. But he be flipping them. He be making $200-300 a pair. So listen, if you know how to do it right, but that's not what they teach us. And once again, it's a thing. Like for Black Americans, Black United States citizens, we ain't all had that hustle. That hustle ain't in everybody because it wasn't taught. The lesser of two evils. Think for yourself. See what you want to do and go for it. Okay, I believe you can think logically. Wait, I believe if you can think logical, you'll succeed at anything you do. Exactly. See, like when it came to this presidential election, I didn't vote. I don't encourage other people not to vote. I encourage you to do what you want. But me, I didn't vote. I said, okay, rather than voting, because to vote, if you're going to vote, you should learn about both sides. You should learn about Biden. You should learn about Trump. But to vote without really going into detail to find out their policies and their plans is ignorant. So rather than spend that time learning their policies and plans and then voting, I spent that time learning their policies and plans to figure out what I need to do if either one is elected. That was my whole point. I studied the stuff. I studied what they wanted to do. I listened to Trump. I listened to Biden. I listened to Kamala. I listened to Pence. And I just try to position myself in a place that no matter who wins, I'm going to win. And that's how I got to this place in Miami. So let me see. That's that Black folks are their own worst enemy talk. Charles, where are you from? Ron Pleasant, what up, man? What's going on, man? We got about like 10 more minutes. I'm going to make this under an hour or so because, you know, I don't like just talking and then you guys might understand. People will see in the future and they'll be like, nah. So I don't even, you know what I mean? Well, let's see. Checking the facts. I'm getting back to you later. I did a part 1, 2, and nightlife. Me and AD, you are only two who actually been there. Wait, me and you are the only two who have actually been there at night. Yo, man, it's different. It's different at night, man. And I heard the guy on your video check say that he had that the part Drunken Fest had just went bad because Drunken Fest was in October, and I wanted to try to stop by in October, but this whole pandemic thing happened, so we didn't stop by in October because October they got the party in Palenque. But I'm gonna go back when I get down there in February maybe. Facts, King Bo. Let me see. Sydney, what up, man? Doc, you looking for a new tax bracket later for that Biden theory? Oh man, don't be tripping. The stock market ain't blinking. Oh nah, bro. If anybody's seen the stock market today, you know what it is, man. And it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up extremely amount. It's gonna go up extreme when that second company, Moderna, comes out with results that say the same thing that the first one came out with. And then when Biden gets in office and they lock down everything again, mind you, the lockdown don't even. I'm all clarity to everybody. The lockdown don't affect me because I'm an essential employee, so I've never stopped working through this whole lockdown. But when Biden does a lockdown and they that second virus thing comes up, stock market is gonna go through the roof, man. Through the roof. It increased 50% today, man. 50% in one day. Listen, someone tell you not to do the market. They ain't about the tax bracket. PSPA, what did I learn about their policies? I learned about Biden is getting rid of the 1031 exchange. You know, I do real estate, so he's getting rid of the 1030 exchange. The tax thing is not really going to hurt me, so that I didn't really focus too much on that because he's supposed to be increasing taxes for people who make over 400,000. And even if I somehow made for over 400,000, I would never claim 400,000 on my taxes. No. But and as far as Trump policies, it's hard because Trump made a lot of when he was talking to Ice Cube, he made a lot of promises, but I don't know if those are policies. They were just promises. His policies on the economy though was to continue to not do fiscal if the Senate didn't get it together. Then he wasn't going to do fiscal and just let the Fed keep pumping money in, because the more the Fed pumped the money in, the higher stocks went, the better he felt it made him look. So I would have known that. I got the house, but I would have known that if Trump would win, if Trump would have won, I would have put an extreme amount more money into stocks. I would have put a lot more money into stocks because I know it was going from there. Biden win, real estate, fixed assets. So that's how I learned how to adjust to mine. Do you think it's a good time to invest in the growth of China? I don't know overseas equities, man. I hear a lot of people like it depends what kind of money you got, because I hear a lot of people like Warren Buffett, and I hear a lot of people like on CNN, CNBC saying China is doing so well and it's the best time to invite, but I don't know. Focus on yourself, health, and wealth. Don't watch the news. No. I won't. Whoa, King Bo. I won't say don't watch the news, but that first part, 100%. Focus on yourself, health, and wealth, and your family. But I still watch the news every day. Even though I don't invest in stocks like that, I watch the news every day. You sound as if you didn't vote. Saying so. Of course I didn't vote. I tried to tell everybody before. Of course I didn't vote. My whole thing was to figure out what I needed to do or what mindset I needed to have depending on who gets in office. Because one of them will get in office. I knew one of them will get in office. So if Biden gets in office, I got to set plans. I'm going to do this. Trump gets in office, I got to set plans. I'm going to do this. And that's what I focus on the most. Doc says, regardless, you still into capital gains tax. Don't be fooled. Capital gain. No, I don't have any. I don't really have any stocks that I sell. Okay, this year I did. This year I sold my 401k and I got stocks to sell, but I'm going to make up with it with the real estate I brought. But yeah, I don't have any capital gains because I have rental property. I don't sell the houses. I just rent them, and it's not a capital gain. Clinton Bell, what's up, man? How do I feel about taxing the top 1%? Sounds good, but is it fair? I think so. I mean, the reason why I say it's fair is because there's not one family in the top 1% that didn't benefit off of Black Americans being slaves. So if you get taxed more, that's on you. You win the whole 300 years without paying any tax, without paying anybody. So I mean, how can I feel bad for that? But yeah, I don't know. And if you came as an immigrant and you came to America and your family might not have been part of that slave stuff, but coming from as an immigrant, if you didn't pay anything to Native Americans, you didn't pay anything to Black people, you did the exact same thing. You profited off of what somebody else built. So it's not really my thing. I don't really care. I don't even worry about it too much because I'm going to make money. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, Clinton. I don't know, Sydney. I'm about to end this live though, but I don't know, Sydney, because I think the United States is the number one place in the world where money means more than everything else. In other countries, families mean more, royalty means more, but in the United States, it was created because the people who had wealth in Europe and Spain and Portugal, they could not surpass the queens. They could not surpass the kings. So they created the United States to make wealth. So yeah, I don't think that's ever going to change, which means I think people will keep investing here. Rami Travels, what's going on, man? Yeah, we come back down to my King James is actually coming to Medellin this month. King James is coming to Medellin this month. I'll tell him to say what up. Maybe give him some information on what to do. And I'll be in Cartagena. I'll be in Cartagena because Barranquilla not having a carnival. So I'm going to be in Cartagena from February 10th to the 15th or to the 14th or something. And then I'm going to go on Saturday to Barranquilla for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then I'm going to come back to Miami on Tuesday. So, yeah, man, that's the plan for the thing, man. Shout out to everybody that came in the room, man. It's your boy. I appreciate you guys for coming in, listening to the thing. It's Money Talk Mondays. I'll be back Wednesday with a pregame because I actually got to start building a starting five for or at least a starting three for Miami because I'll be going down to Miami dry, man. So I'm gonna build on Wednesday. We're gonna do a little hunting for Miami. But it's your boy FRE$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why to check out the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.